Oh, dear friends, well-wishers, acquaintances, sons of bitches and bastards, whoever you is. We are coming at night, and we're down a young boy, Alex. It happens, he's not feeling too good, and he's got a lot of work to do, so... For the sake of young boy Alex, and the fact that it's about a quarter to 12 right now, how about a little bedtime story? I have a perfect little book right here. We finally got a release date, so it's July 21st, 2020, not 2021 or anything. The cover is by my little brother Spencer Croft. Spencer motherfucking Croft, you know, kid's good. He's got a nice little doodle on the inside. You can't see that yet though, doesn't ruin the surprise. So I can read the back of the book, but I'll tell you, Becoming Buddha is about 4 years in the making. I worked real hard with the homie Sid. It's actually the first book I ever wrote. It's what got me into writing. It's the book that I started writing 1,000 words a day and then watched it progress, and it's been rewritten a whole lot of times. It's means a lot to me, this book. If it was a band's first album, it covers that whole first part of their life. A lot of personal stuff in here. A lot of it's still a fiction. Nothing sweet there, but yeah, it's got a lot going on. I would call it a little bit of a I don't even know what to call it. It's kind of existential fiction. Existential fiction. But no, it's I'm really excited for its release. I wanted to read the first chapter. Just a little amuse-bouche, a little appetite wetter for everybody. See if you like it, see if you feel it, what you think about it. As a young child, I was quiet, agreeable, and obedient, the crystalline depiction of ordinary in school. I seemed destined to grow up to be an average man. My easily sparked imagination often rewarded me with complimentary adjectives like sharp, bright, and quick, which I now see are the equivalent of giving a dog a biscuit, simply for being what it has no other option to be, a tongue-wagging imbecile. I was never fully aware of this as a child. I was only confused by the output of my grades, which weren't terrible, yet certainly not the grades of an elite student. This confusion begot further confusion as to why I was confused and what I was confused about. I was unable to capture the significance of discovering that the world was not my oyster, and that I might not become whatever I wanted to be. It befuddled me that, if I was so bright, why couldn't I retain any information without eliminating all the other post-school activities like the other gifted, socially awkward children? If I was so quick, then why were maths and sciences, the yardsticks for prodigious students, unobtainable? It took me until the academic apathies of secondary school to dismiss these reflections, by which point I had found other interests in drugs and girls. Imagine that. A crisis of role and identity at so young an age that I was too puerile to grasp that I had already been shown my rank. My friends consisted of schoolmates, teammates from local sports troops, and some of my parents' friends' children. Friendships with the kids in my school were necessary to avoid boredom and getting picked on. I was normal enough to be rewarded with invitations to birthdays and for kids to accept being the recipients of mine. I did all the formative activities that those who miss out on harbor within them. Bike rides, stealing candy from the corner stores, playing doctor, getting tattled on. Truthfully, however, I grew up mostly by myself. I was more concerned with the apocalypse, the wars overseas spilling back home, or my mom dying, than bad grades or bullies. You know, normal childhood fears. With the exception of such and such student that can draw very well, run very fast, or sing in falsetto, young children are almost all the same until puberty tilts the playing field. Of course, the medial lines of talent and ability become more distinct throughout the teens into adulthood. Though I don't talk to any of the kids I went to school with, I'm positive that most are still comfortable with repetition, order, and a perfunctory rise in annual salary. I, on the other hand, have seemed to refuse to allow my lack of remarkability in intelligence, or speed, or cunning, or strength to hold me back. If only I could see me now. My dearth of meaningful friendships or bonds forged in blood didn't surprise me as a child, and fails to arouse any intense feeling in me today. I was close with my mother, who worked from home and raised my younger siblings and I. My father worked long hours. I always thought he hated being with us, despite having the primitive love that the king lion has for its pride. He was a machinist and enjoyed disassembling anything with moving parts, only to put them back together again. He thought I was a mama's boy, which I suppose I was, considering that she was the only one who was always around and listened to my feelings. I also had no interest in mechanics or even how things worked and why. I had an if it ain't broke kind of attitude, and twist my arm was kind of lazy. My father would show me manly things as if it were a chore, performing tasks, showing me the finished products, expecting my praise and acclaim. My lack of interest usually resulted in being sent to help my mother, where we'd talk and read and discuss the alienation I felt for my classmates and the world around me. I don't think I was weird. Perhaps it was a gift to be so self-aware and self-admonishing at such a young age. As I mused, it could have been the genesis of a strange virtuosity. My mother had a way of broaching my feelings with sincerity. What a nice lady. It was as though she could untangle the choking fog that obscured my psyche and make it seem as though my torrential thoughts of loathing and persecution weren't silly or singular, but normal and false. I don't know if she was simply mitigating any damage caused by drinking or smoking during pregnancy, or if she really believed it, but she made me believe it too. My poor little kid mind was wrought with complex birding and advanced placement stress. I wasn't sure how many of the other kids thought like I did, but I didn't trust them enough to tell them anything, especially when they questioned me on why I liked to be alone, like they never needed any time away from themselves. Chapter 2 would open like this if I were to read it. I saw 3 dead bodies before the age of 15. I'm not saying that this sets a child up for failure, but I'm sure it has some effect. So July 21st, I'll holler at your boy, I'll hook you up. I only have so many copies. But I hope everyone's doing well. I hope the young boy Alex, a speedy recovery. He's a busy boy, so drop him a line. Let him know you support him. He's working on it with a few companies right now as well, and he's an in-demand guy. Much love to Alex, everyone else out there. I'd like to read more for you guys, my stuff, other stuff, just all kinds of impactful and influential literature. Probably going to be filming some more of these just at the old desk by my lonesome, so let me know what you think. If you want to hear some Coward, hear some Furies, if you have any ideas what you want to see, any topics you want to discuss, let me know. Beyond that,